Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill. How are you, sir?
Good. Are things shockingly great?
They are getting that way for sure.
Yeah.
Ruin my surprise. Let me get my light on here.
No, no.
Pavlok,
I'm just
baby.
asking the question.
Pavlok.
Tell us
I've
about it.
got what I I've got what I think is shock anxiety, right? Because this I got it, I'm playing with it, and like I'm playing with the shock settings, but it feels just like a vibrate because it's cueing like a haptic, like save thing. And I thought it's like, oh, this isn't really shocking me. So like I moved it up to like 30 or 40%. And then I was going to go tell the family about this new thing and show it to them. And I pressed the thing and it shocked me. And I was like, oh, that's the shock. Wait a minute. I need to turn that back down. And Melissa said, well, I want to try it. And she's, being, I don't know if this is true or not, but like the joke has always been that since she's a redhead, she has no soul, so therefore has a very high pain tolerance.
Mm.
And so we put it on her and we tried it. And she was just like, yeah, I don't really feel anything. And so we cranked it all the way up, and she was just like, yeah. I was like, I don't want to go any higher. Like,
It
so,
stopped your heart.
but I mean, it was crazy. And then you put it on the inside, and that does different things. It's like a tens unit kind of
Yeah.
style of shock, and it's been interesting. Yesterday was just like playing with it, kind of getting used to it being on my wrist. I feel like cool bracelet guy with like matching straps on each wrist.
Right.
But I'm curious to play more with it and spend some time with it this weekend and build. One of the two of the things that the app recommends doing fairly early is getting your morning routine and your wind down routines like really set and timed and stuff like this. So I'm excited about that.
Well, lots of good material for the show, that's for sure.
Lots of good material. We might just start allowing people to like have the input to shock me on here. If I say something inappropriate, or if I politically argue on Facebook, I have to shock myself at like 70%.
Yeah.
No,
It's probably where you need to start.
probably for sure. Actually,
You
I
need
mean,
to.
I go ahead.
If there's Zapier inputs, that thing could be the most
There
legit
are,
thing in the world.
there
Oh my
are.
gosh. So yeah, as soon as you post something with any keyword on Facebook, you get the 85 percenter. Just
I
damn.
know.
Oh.
Um, the things that I think I'm really bad at, right, are letting meetings go on too long and being late for like other meetings,
Yeah.
because I get really into talking to people.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I want to do is I want to put like a some sort of zap that notifies me about 2 minutes before the end of a meeting. So that way it just vibrates and I'm like, okay, thanks so much. I gotta go. Things like that.
Mhm.
I don't know how I'm going to do that with this, but there's all kinds of zaps and recipes and different. I mean, some people inside the community are doing some really cool things with this thing. I'm super excited. Um, Big ups to Manesh for putting in all the work because there's a lot going on with this thing. It's really, really legit.
Yeah. That's awesome. Cool. Maybe yeah, Google Calendar. Maybe you can, because you know how you can tell Google Calendar to hit you 5 minutes before your next
Yep.
meeting. You can zap
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, so we might have to go through like a process of creating another event that's like a 3 minute event that happens. I mean, we can figure out the logic of it. Um, I'm just happy to have it.
Yep.
It's bigger than I thought it was going to be, but from like a form factor size, it's not terrible. I'm curious to see how much the newest one, how much smaller that's going to be from a form factor point of view, because it is, it's a bit clunky on the top
Oh.
of the wrist,
Okay. Yeah, I
right?
did.
So
Did I
watch me on
read
the
that
bottom.
he was making it thinner on the?
Yeah, the newer one is apparently supposed to be able to strap on to like your iWatch, right?
Right.
So you don't
Makes
have to
sense.
do the dual wristing thing. So
That could be have
yeah,
to be super skinny then if it was going to strap onto the iWatch.
that I mean, I'm making a big deal about it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that thick. I would just prefer it to be thinner, so that way it looked a little bit more like a bracelet and less like a. John has so much OCD; he's wearing two watches, which is kind of how I feel right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And still, it is late to meetings somehow.
You know, that fair. I
So
tried to have it all this morning. I tried to have my coffee while I was like doing the morning accountability show, and the water was like steeping, and then I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to go use the restroom during this, so let me turn down and try to have it all, man.
you know what's
I
funny is,
shot
I do the same thing
Icarus.
actually. I've just changed some habits around it because I always try and fit as much into whatever time frame there is.
Uh-huh.
It's just like second nature to me. I'm like, okay, there's 4 minutes till this thing. I can do this. So technically, I can sometimes.
Squeezing every blood or every bit of lemon out of every lemon you possibly
Every ounce out
can.
of life is how I think about it. I'm squeezing every ounce out of life. Of course, then some days I'm over sitting playing Skyrim for 2 hours. That's really squeezing 2 hours.
Hey man, balance is the thing.
It is.
Yeah,
It
for
is.
sure.
So good
How was school
morning,
yesterday?
Michelle, and good morning,
Good morning,
Levi.
Michelle. Good morning, Levi. How was school yesterday, Jake? Did you get in trouble? Did you have to go to the principal's office?
No, I was not as good as I would prefer to be,
Okay.
and I set myself up for it because I brought the iPad that's hooked up
Oh,
to all the
man, you know
things.
what's gonna happen when you do that. Come on,
I just
man.
had to prove myself right, I guess. I don't know. So I was there, 95% of the time, but
Okay.
there that end of the day, man, I gotta find something else, figure out something else for the end of the day because I mean, number one, the kids are gassed, in the school
Yeah.
day, so everyone's kind of like, and the teacher's like, come on,
Mhm.
okay, let's go, we're almost there, get this thing, da da da, and I'm like, okay, time for me to do something constructive. Everyone's just like,
the time when the teacher needs your participation the most
yes,
with like the
yes,
kid wrangling, you're also like, ooh, app idea. Let's just write some code over here or something like crazy like
yes,
that.
yes. Levi, he said Skyrim took so many hours for me. It's still taking hours for me to this
Yeah,
day.
I
And I,
won't let myself play that game because I know how big it is, and I know that
oh,
I will get sucked down to a black hole of never being productive ever
it's
again.
it's the most replayable game of all time, in my opinion. It's so amazing.
Oh wow,
So
that's a big claim, my friend. I
uh, it is for me. It is for a lot of people
Whew,
apparently because it's still going.
man. I've got my friend in Chicago. We're trying to find a game that we can play like together, right? And he's an Xbox guy. I'm a PlayStation guy, so that's like the first big hurdle, right? And some of the
Yeah,
stuff is cross-platform, but
sure,
all the cross-platform stuff are shooters, and
pretty much.
I don't really want to play a shooter, like not with a buddy if we're going to be like spending this time to like hang out and chill and everything else. And he just got a gaming PC, and I'm like, I don't need more time at this
Right,
desk.
station.
Like
Yeah,
I just don't, right? And trying to get jacked up about spending time to like play a game here. I've got some setup woes that I need to work on. I'm finding it hard to like work pleasure or not pleasurably, but like successfully for like long periods of time at this desk. I'm like moving around the house and things like this.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm not really motivated to like spend more time at the computer desk playing video games. So I don't know. We got to figure something out.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. How was your school day?
it was a good day. My BIL, you texted me yesterday afternoon to kind of like check in on me, which I appreciated a lot because we had to have a conversation because I keep making these like huge bets, right, of like on myself about number of asks, and so Jake he reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, how was your day? I saw this. We're talking, we're catching up." And the first thing I said to him was like, please don't let me ever do like one of these 100 asks in a week kind of bets again. And because yesterday, whenever we were texting, I had done two for the week. I'm now up to 30. I did 30 in about an hour and a half yesterday. So, it's a Thursday, so gotta put in some more mileage on the asks for Sales Lab. We're going to be doing referral asks today, why most referral asks suck, and how to do them a little bit better. And that's going to be starting in about an hour or so.
That's good. That's good. Levi wants to know if my green screen is on purpose or a mistake. I feel
Does
sarcasm through
anybody
the text.
does anybody ever just like, let's see what green looks like behind me?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really trying to see what colors go with my eyes, so I know what to shop for this fall. um, yeah, that's a decision to be lazy, is what that's called, Levi. Otherwise, you could see
Yeah.
my bedroom. I shoot a lot of video on Zoom, and I record a lot of video and do courses and different all sorts of things. And so I have this green screen up about 50% of the time, just because I don't want to take it down, and it is an actual purpose because when it's on Zoom and I can drop the virtual backgrounds, you know, that's what it's for. But otherwise, it sits here
How's it
and
attached?
garners me insults from Facebook. That's its second purpose. Very important though.
How do you attach it so that way it's not there all the time?
I just have just for Levi.
Just for Levi.
I got these handy day little clips.
Oh.
It's got like a shower curtain.
You have a bar up there?
Yep. That's just a setup like here. Let's see if I can move this real quick.
Oh, okay. I see now. Very nice. Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's very easy, and it's just a green sheet. Actually, I didn't go all out and buy the $100 and something green screen setup. I have a black sheet, I have a white sheet, and I have a green sheet. It
Interesting.
allows me to kind of just do whatever I need to do.
This weekend we're going to do some cleaning up of my background here because it's...
Melania likes it. Cool.
Who?
Melania?
Oh.
Was that
I'm not familiar
Levi's
with that.
wife, girlfriend? I don't know.
I mean, Levi's
somebody
married.
Somebody likes it.
Um,
Or was that a Trump joke? I just didn't get it.
maybe.
Is that her name, Melania?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you got today, Bill?
Today I have got ketchup. I'm
Ketchup?
a mile behind everyone
Yeah.
else in the race again. It's Thursday. So I gotta pick up my pace.
There you go, man.
Lots of blocking and tackling. Got a couple follow-ups on potential clients. Had a good call back on Tuesday. We're following up today. Let's see. Yeah, it's a Thursday. Lots. That's what it is today.
Yeah.
I'm on pace for my bet though. I've hit my 3 vegetables for the week.
Good.
That was the big one, so that's good. Hit my walks and everything, and then I've got my asks done, and so it's a good week. I'm trying to think about next week a way to kind of stretch myself, get myself out of the comfort zone again. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. So I'm feeling that urge to get a little crazy. Not 100 asks crazy. Don't get me wrong, but something that make me uncomfortable. What about you?
So we got sales lab at 9. I have regular catch up with Jeremy. We're going to record the interview with my attorney friend about business formation for like closers and how to do it the best way and tips and tricks and things like that. And then I have a call with a guy who could be like a really good fit for a spot that I'm trying to fill for an agency owner. This guy, the owner, super savvy, worked at Google a long time ago. He's got lots of different businesses and things that he's working on, and has got this agency that he needs, someone who enjoys sales but wants a leadership role and wants to come in and do it the right way. So I met a guy about a year ago, and we're going to have a chat about it today because he's looking to get back into a leadership role and has done some marketing and stuff like that. So could be a
Wow.
solid fit. Yeah, I met him at a jiu-jitsu camp last year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. That's fine.
Yesterday I got to go down the black hole around like camera tech and lighting and microphones,
Okay.
which was pretty awesome. I watched the Noah Kagan video where he's talking about updating his system, and the video is really well done because there's like a mid-tier in the middle of it. And then Michael Ryan, who owns 4/3, and I are working on some stuff. And so I was like, hey, can I ask some questions about lighting? And we kind of went down talk about a black hole. Good Lord. Camera tech, it gets out there.
Yep, that's for sure. Go a long way on it.
Yeah. So I need to find about an hour and a half today to put my asks in. So that'll be like later on this afternoon. We're recording a podcast this weekend. This evening. We didn't do one last week because of the hurricane and we weren't really sure what Clint's position was going to be with the hurricane, everything like that. So
Mm.
we re-released an old episode last week, new episode tonight. We're going to talk about potentially shifting the formatting a little bit so that way we can bring on guests, get a little bit more audience participation and stuff like that. And yeah, it's kind of the day.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And you said, what's the subject in Sales Lab today?
Referral asks
Referrals. Okay.
how to do them better, and so that way you don't get the, well, do you know anyone I should be talking to? Well, not right now, Jake, but if I think of anybody, I'll be sure to let you know, right? And then you're chasing.
Yeah.
But there's better ways to make that ask. We're going to talk about some of that stuff, and then we're going to practice, right? Everyone's going to do it at least twice in small groups, and let's go. Get your reps in.
Sweet. Love it.
I had a marketing question for you, actually, because I think we have a minute. When you're niching yourself, right, and you're saying, okay, cool, like I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to go after these people and stuff like this. How etched in the sand is that? Like, is it, will we market to this niche, but will help anybody? Is that kind of the idea of it? Am I too black or white about the idea of niching?
I don't want to say depends. Let me answer your black or white question with the depends. I would say the whole point of niching is so that your message can be as completely compelling as possible because it's tailored for the person that you're giving it to, right?
Okay.
So that's the point of niching. It's not because you only want to work with one set of people. So, like in my case, for example, I want to work with a very specific type of business owner and a very specific, service type mentality with a blah 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 blah, right? But it doesn't mean I'm not open to opportunities that also seem like I could be a good solution. So that's kind of how I draw my line. Because, like in your case, I'm assuming you're talking about real estate.
Well, I'm thinking a lot about niching, just like in general, about like how it works and people who do it well versus people who I don't think do it very well. And kind of had this like realization. I'm Captain Literal. I mean, it's very trod and true that I take things like very, very seriously and try to turn them into these black or white kind of deals. So I was curious if niching, I mean, how often, well, okay, so let me back up and ask my real question. If you start a company and you're looking at a market, right? And you say, man, I want this market. How hard do you stick to trying to nail that market? And when is going back and being like, hey, looks like this is the actual market who likes this product. Let's shift our marketing so that we were speaking more to these people. One of them kind of feels like giving up. And I wonder if that's true or if it's just
I don't think it's giving up if it's intentional. Because the idea is when you go into a market, you either know I have a solution that will fit someone, and I think I know who it is. Let's go test. Oh, it's not this one. Oh, it's this one. Okay, nailed it. Let's roll. So that's not giving up. That's saying I know I have a solution that fits somewhere in this arena. Let's find the specific people that it fits best. The other version is I want to help this very specific group of people, so I'm going to tailor my service to match them because I really want to help those people. So you're niching both ways, just from opposite directions. I think most people come from the first direction. I don't think most people are like, that I need to help this person. This is the one I need. That's the absolute person that I'm for. Because typically that's going to be a very personal type of solution you're offering, and you already know before you even start. You're like, this is for that group of people. Most of us are like, I found a solution that's really cool, or I found an opportunity there that's really cool, or I figured something out for myself, and I need to find some more people that can do it. And so I think that's and the biggest drawback to niching for most people is inside their own head. It's not that they gave up,
sure.
Right? It's like I want to help more people. I can serve more people. There's more people that need the solution. You're right, but until you nail it one or two or three times, you shouldn't be going out to all those other markets because you just haven't nailed it yet. You're just wasting money most of the time. And to go on a tangent even a little more is that most companies think they have 3, 5, 7 different avatars when, sure, you may have three, four, five, six, seven people that touch it inside the company before a decision's made, but there's really only a couple people that really matter and that are going to make the decision, and you're marketing to them. That's the people you're marketing to. Now, are you talking to the secretary first to get through the, you know, proverbial wall to get to those people? Sure, but that's not how you're marketing to. You're just trying to get past them because they don't care. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
affect them directly. And same thing, I like the financial people that, well, I need to market to the financial people because they're the one that signs the check. They have to sign off on this. No, you have to make sure it's okay that they feel like the people that come to them to sign the checks have done their due diligence. And guess how you do that?
Hmm.
You make them really satisfied with your solution. And it's got to make fiscal sense, of course, but I think the idea is niching should be black and white. Yeah, I absolutely think it should be black and white, and you should draw parameters up and boundaries. And if you're not hitting the mark, something's wrong, and it's a formula, right?
What's the mark?
Well, I mean,
Or
revenue.
is that where we get into like it depends? Well, because you know,
I'd
you
say
say
volume of
revenue,
sales or
but
revenue. I mean, if you're in business.
okay.
Now, I mean,
But
what I do may be, you know, big picture helping people, you know, connect their purpose to why they're working into their message so that they get more customers. But at the end of the day, I got to measure is the service I'm selling. Otherwise,
for
I'm doing
sure,
something wrong.
yeah. And how do you determine if it's a market fit? Like maybe you just need to adjust the marketing to like fit that market versus okay, I need to scrap this because my niche is wrong, my marketing segmentation is wrong, and they need to shift it to like over here. Like when is it smart to make that decision, and when are you chasing shiny things and not putting in the real amount of like
Yeah.
sample size and effort?
I think the big decision that most people don't consciously make is, am I in this to help a specific group of people, and I can adjust my offer because I want to make sure and help this group of people. That's kind of more the spot I'm in, right? I know I want to help people that are making differences in the world and have people groups that they care about, right? That I want to help those people communicate better so that they can do more of their good work. I don't actually necessarily care what I'm selling them. I just know I want to help them communicate better. So what I do is I find the group of people that I really like and specifically like to work with from a business standpoint and go, what is it that we could change about our offer to even help you guys even more? Like, where am I missing? Because I think you need this, this, and this, and you probably do, but you're telling me you actually need more of this. Great, let me sell you that first then, and you can get that part fixed, and then you can feel better, and then let's work on this other stuff. That would be one way you could do it. The other way though is, I know this solution needs to be in the world. This is something I have, and it needs to happen because it's going to change everything, right? It's what's his name, Elon Musk, right? He's got these things in his mind where he's like, this is going to change
Mhm.
the world, uh, you know, and then he's going to find the right people to buy it, and then eventually it becomes a thing, and lots of people want to buy it. Now, I mean, everyone's going to be Elon Musk, but like, you might say, I
Yeah.
have to teach people to frame better in sales. This has to get in the world. I'm so frustrated by this. This thing that has to happen. Well, you need to go find the people that are most open to buying it, have cash in their pockets, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Because you might want
I
to
think
teach to entrepreneurs, but they might not pay you, and they
for
need it just
sure.
as bad as the realtors do. But the realtors will pay you.
Exactly. So, at what point in that exact situation, right? Let's say that you want to help the entrepreneur, but the entrepreneur typically has problems paying you. When do you decide that it is a market mismatch versus like a messaging and positioning mismatch?
That's a good nuanced question. Um, yeah, so I would say that if you're, I would say if you've done a really thorough job and doing your best to make sure people know what it is that the value you're providing in your message. Like for your example, I would say you've done a good job of saying I'm helping you become a better salesperson, and here's how I'm doing it. Like that's not unclear. Um, you know, there's always technique and timing and the customer cycle and all sorts of stuff that you can talk about all day, right? But I would say, and it's a volume play. If you've put that message in front of X amount of people, whether it's in 2 days or 200 days, if you've got it in front of the right amount of people,
Hmm.
right amount, you know enough to know this isn't working. Now, I don't know why necessarily yet, but it's not working. And so I think at that point is when you ask yourself, um, it's when you go back to kind of the positioning stuff in that book is what are the things that this customer that I'm talking to right now really, really values? What's the thing that they really, really are having a struggle with? And then back up and go, is my thing actually addressing that? Because it may not be that your message isn't making sense, it's that it's not really what their priority is. That's what good positioning does, is it puts you in the place of you have this burning desire and I'm going to position myself as the solution for that. Versus I think a lot of us go, I have this really great solution and people go, oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. Not, oh my gosh, give me that.
Yeah. Or you're like, well, I got value from this, so therefore everybody else will, right? Because you're probably not taking the time if you're scratching your own itch to like really kind of figure out like what the market is that you're in that makes those things tick. But you said something in there that I am really interested in because you talked about you should know, right? You should know when you put this in front of enough people that it's either working or it isn't. But do you? Because I mean, I know a lot of salespeople who think that they close every deal that they sit down in front of, or that's what they tell me anyway, right? So
Well, nobody
how
does that.
how no, well, exactly. But if we're capable of telling ourselves that story, like how do we draw the line to determine, oh, this needs to shift, something needs to change, or like maybe I'm just not that good at the thing over here that I thought I was.
Well, I mean, it's one of the reasons you and I do what we do here, right? Like, I don't care how self aware you are, we all lie to ourselves. So
Oh, for sure, yeah,
if you don't have a team, a group, a partner, someone who's checking you on your own data, first of all, do you have data? Why not? And then
yes,
second, hey,
yes,
show me this data. Let's look at this together. Okay, I don't. This doesn't look like it's working. Does it look like it's working to you? Well, yeah. Da, da, da. Great. Okay. Well, what's your goal? Or what are you optimizing for? Okay. Well, the data says it's not working. Then what's next? So I think
okay, okay.
that's a bigger issue than the underlying, like when do I know? Da da da. I think that's what I mean by when you know, you know. It's like we have data, we're
Yeah,
measuring, it's not working. Let's try something else.
yeah. I I felt better about that answer than just the like leaving it where we had it before. And this isn't for me specifically because this is more for people who have an idea, right?
Hmm.
And they're thinking about this and they're not exactly sure how because do you stick to your guns and you wait to find your tribe and stuff like this because if there is a market because you just happen to be in there then there's got to be a bigger market than just you. So how stubborn do you get about it? Or do you like, okay, like maybe I'm not the target market and we need to shift and do this thing over here? Like, yeah, I think that is an interesting mental set of hurdles that data makes it easier, self-awareness makes it easier and stuff like this. But I don't know that a lot of people starting out are going to have the data and the self-awareness
Yeah,
to,
I feel like a lot of people feel like they get to walk onto a gun range with a shotgun and just shoot it the general direction and they're going to hit and they're going to feel good.
yeah,
When more realistically, you have to train to be more like a sniper and you need a spotter and you have to look at
yeah,
the all the stuff around you and you have to dial it in and do the measurements and then your spotter even tells you do this, do this. Oh, okay, cool, cool. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. And then you take that
mhm,
shot and you hit it, and it's like, okay, how can we make this a little bit faster? I know, let's get three snipers on the range. Not let's go get three more types of guns, which is what a lot of people do. Is like, let's do a pistol because the sniper was too slow. Well, do you want to hit your target? I mean,
yeah.
that's the idea.
Well, and how often do you want to hit the target?
Yeah.
Right? Like how many chances do you get, right? And how many chances do you have, right? And when we're looking at paying for leads and paid search and all these things that are more available now than they ever have been, where do you draw the line? Because you can run ads for forever, right? And be like, just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. So having deadlines really is kind of what it comes down to, right? What are we going to measure success against? And most people, I don't think, do like a good job of that when it comes to this kind of stuff. I mean, and I'm willing to admit that I might fall in that same category.
Absolutely.
So
Well, I don't measure near enough. I just don't. I rely on my gut because in the Enneagram world of things, I'm on the gut area. and I
Oh yeah.
respond through my gut, and I'm right a lot of times, but that doesn't mean it's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and I think at my point where I'm at in my career too is like I think the best thing you can do is spend time researching, really understanding who your actually your market is and why you're a good fit, and then
Hmm.
setting up simple crude measurements quickly and get going, and then just repeat. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of the MVP model when you're putting out like a product, right? Where you're just like, oh, let's get something out there and make sure that people really like this, and then let's figure out how we can get more of it done, moving forward, how we can scale that. Because actually, even with some of the larger companies I've worked with, it's been like, hey, we have 15 avatars. Like, great, awesome. You have a really big product and a lot of avatars. Let's pick one and put it on cruise control, and then copy what worked from that, and then start applying it across the different areas. Because you may absolutely have 15 because you have 12 different products, so you need 15 avatars. But until you can concentrate and dial one in, you're not getting the most out of your time and money and resources.
How often should a company be looking at their avatars in their customer list and trying to like reconcile the two of those things to make sure that they're still on the right path? Is that like an annual thing?
I know. I think it's actually if it's not working, look at it again. I think up front's different than long term, but I mean your customer. I think some of that has to do with market trends, obviously. I mean, because you can't say never, because obviously Blockbuster should have taken a look. you know, as they're trying
Before
to
they did.
right? But it wasn't their avatar that changed; it was technology. So once
Oh,
again,
that's fair.
they
Yeah.
may have
The
had the right
market changed.
avatar. The market changed. So I think once you find a group that you really vibe with and you want to help, I don't know if you necessarily need to look at your avatar again until you have something new to bring to them, another service, another product, and then you go, "Oh, is this
Okay.
still the right avatar?"
So last question, and then I'll let you go because you brought up Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So is it just that we're lucky that we can look back at this thing now and be like, God, those guys were idiots, or was there a moment to where they should have been like, hey, our our target market are families and like college kids, right, who need entertainment. When there's new things, who's going to adapt it? College kids, because they're around everybody else is doing these things. So we should be a little bit more technically conscious that we might get uprooted. Like, do we just get to see that now because we're armchair quarterbacking so far in the future, or do you think that there's a moment where someone smart should have been like, hey guys, like we're missing, like we need to take this meeting with Netflix a little bit more seriously?
As someone who is a visionary, I'm going to say someone should have seen it coming. I think future. So for me, it's
Okay.
obvious. But I think that's why you need multiple types of people on your board of directors, or
Yeah,
you know,
you need the whole, and Clint talks about this a lot, which I always find rather interesting because he's a D. He says that the good teams have all the aspects of discounting, and I'm like, wait, you're a D, and you're
no,
saying that it's,
no,
and he was like, absolutely, man. I need the C's, I need the S's, I need the I's because. In the way that he talks about it makes a ton of sense. He's like, look, if you put 5 D's on a team, we're getting nothing done.
nope.
We're just
All
going
are
to piss
good.
each other off and try to win and try to like manipulate everybody else. So it's not going to work very well.
No,
And I was like, man, that's really interesting.
that's good.
But
He's
he
really
was saying,
self-aware.
yeah, oh man, he astounds me constantly, right?
Yeah.
But he talks about even in the Marine Corps, because he was Special Forces Marine, he was a Marine Corps recon guy, and no Raider, excuse me, not recon, and the he talks about even on his teams there at that high level of like military performance, they had the C's who did these things and the I's who did these
Oh
things
yeah.
and the S's and like and the balance of that. And what's funny is you see guys like Jocko and I know Clint and I know some other like pretty high performing special operations people, and you don't get the gist that they're anything other than D's, right? Because it's just like I gotta go, let's go kind of deal.
Yeah.
But that's a fallacy. So they're
Yeah.
they're 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 good at coming across as a D, but it might be an adapted uh,
I think so.
view.
I think it's an adaptive lifestyle when
Mhm.
you get to that point, for sure. But I totally agree. I think you need all of it, and it's but I'm kind of a team guy anyway, so I
Me
love
too.
having lots of different smart people around me.
Me too. Me too. Keeps me from going down a path that doesn't serve me.
That's right.
Anyway,
All
Bill,
of us.
we went long because I had lots of marketing questions that have been kind of piling up in my head.
Sweet.
But yeah, you need to go be productive. I need to get ready for Sales Lab and go finish my coffee, so that's that way I can have some energy for Sales Lab. And yeah, man, I'm gonna go start doing some asks.
Sounds good. Get on it, man. Good luck with that.
Thank you, man. 70 more, easy peasy.
No problem. You got this.
Got it.
All right, man. We'll talk to you
All
later.
right, man. See you in the morning.